Afternoon, guys. You know how I tell you about spirit comes in mysterious ways and brings signs and all that? I got one for you. It was a touching sign today. I had to go for the video throat X-ray. This more swallowing video X-ray that they call it or whatever. And today's the 3rd of October, and today makes 7 months that my twin flame and I have been separated. As I said, I'm not calling it a breakup anymore because I'm not going to disrespect the relationship and disrespect her by not taking her at her word. And when she said she'd be back when she felt safe, and I took it as that's a breakup because of what happened in the past. So it's been an emotional day. I ain't slept in 2.5 days really at this point. I've catnapped maybe a total in the past 2.5 days, maybe a couple hours the most. But so I'm sitting there this morning in the hospital waiting to them to call me back there, and there's a couple elderly couples sitting out there and a couple elderly people sitting out there. They're waiting on somebody in the back, and I'm watching them, and I'm in an emotional state. Last time I was in that part of the hospital was last year, and for my surgery. And she and we knew I wasn't supposed to make it through that surgery. We knew it. Everybody else was like, "Oh, ain't nothing gonna happen." But we knew, and sure enough, I had complications and coded for the second surgery of the 2 that I had, and so she did a lot of praying and got a lot of her friends all over the world that she's connected with to pray for me. And, I never really did, in hindsight, I never really did thank her for that and tell her how much that really meant to me. And it did, because I can tell you that going through that, it was a lot of memories triggered sitting there this morning, because it was where I was always getting x-rays and stuff and all for the surgery, when I was there. And it just brought back a lot of memories of how scared I was, and that I knew I wasn't gonna come out of that surgery. And like I say, she knew it as well, and how much it meant to me for her to be there, and how I was drawing strength from her. And I was making jokes and cutting up, trying to keep the mood light, so she didn't worry as much. It didn't make no difference. She was still worried. I could feel it, but it meant a lot to me that she was there. That's what I wanted. I wanted her there. But I was watching those elderly couples, and there was an elderly man came from the back, and he was in a wheelchair, and his wife was sitting there, and his face lit up. I mean, like a kid, like a child at Christmas morning, because he saw her sitting there. And he said, "Oh, it seems like it's been all day I've been back there waiting on to come out here and come back out here and be with you." And she said, "Oh, well, that's so sweet." And he's just, "Oh, I missed you while I was back there. I missed you." And she was, "Oh, I missed you too." And it got the better of me. I started watering up, and I grabbed my handkerchief from my pocket, and I'm wiping tears. And there's other people that are there, and I'm seeing the love of those elderly couples. I'm saying that's what I envisioned between she and I. That's what I always envisioned. They're growing old together, Unbeknownst to me, there was a gentleman walking behind, in passing there. And I seen him at the corner of my eyes. He got past me, and he stopped, and he looked back. And he came back, and he sat down. He asked if I was all right, and I said, "Yeah, it's just an emotional day." And he said, "Are you feeling okay? Are you here for medical?" I said, "Well, it's just a test." And I said, "But today's just a very emotional day. It's been an emotional couple weeks for me, really, for the past 7 months today." And he said, "Did you lose someone?" I said, "In a way, I guess I did." I said, he said, well, how did they pass? I said, no, nothing like that. I said, I'm sorry, I should have been a little clearer. I said, I'm going through a separation. Oh, you and your wife? I said, no, not my wife, just, person I wanted to be my wife, And so we talked, and I said, I feel like I've lost myself through this separation for sure, because I don't know who I am anymore. Beginning to learn who I am. And I said, I've lost her. I said, for the time being. And so we were talking, and he was come to find out he was a pastor. His name was Michael Patterson, elderly pastor. And he was talking to me about God and how, these things, there's a reason behind all these things, that you go through in life. God's got a plan, and God's in control whether we believe it or not. And God, the higher power. And you just got to surrender it over to God. And I said, I'm glad that you stopped and talked to me. I said, because I have such a problem surrendering. And he said, it's control, isn't it? You can't surrender the control over to God. You don't think God knows that you have to be in charge of everything. And now's the time to just surrender over to God. Surrender her and you and your relationship over to God, and trust that God has it, and that it's going to work out. I can tell you it's going to work out. Can you trust me? And I said, yes, Pastor, I can trust you. And he said, call me Michael. And I said, okay. I said, you sure? And he said, yeah, you can call me Michael. He said, most people do. And I said, okay, Michael. I said, I appreciate it. I said, well, they called me back. He said, would you mind if I waited? I'd like to talk some more with you. So I went back there, and they did the x-ray and the video x-ray, and it came back out, and he was there. And we talked some more. And I never gave him her name. And he said her name. He said something along the lines of, so-and-so, knows you have trouble with control, and that you've got anger issues as well. You've got this resentment build up towards so-and-so, and you need to let that go and realize that you're really not angry with her, that she's not the one to be angry with. And don't be angry at yourself, he said, because I know you're holding some resentment towards your own self. And I said, yeah, I haven't divulged that to anybody before. I said, but I'm very angry at myself for the things that I've done, and that I've done to her, done to her children, done to my son. They brought us to this separation. I said, I did. And he said, well, you just have to surrender and trust that it's all going to work out. And you really need to start seeing things from so-and-so's perspective. And I said, that's what I've been doing for the past couple weeks. And he said, well, that's what you need to do. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. And he said, always do that. Always do that. From here moving forward, I want you to always do that. He said, can you promise me you'll do that? That you'll let this resentment towards so-and-so go, and let the anger and the guilt that you've built up for yourself, will you let that go? And I said, I will. He said, no, I want you to promise me that, Eddie. He said, I want you to promise me that. So I said, I promise you, Michael, I promise you that. And he said, well, I got to go. He said that I've got other stops I've got to make today. But he said, I think I was supposed to be here to see you, don't you think? I said, yeah, I think that maybe that's what he was here for. I said, you never did tell me, what you were here for. He said, to see you. To see you. I said, okay. He said, I'm going to give you a hug. Would it be okay? And I said, yeah. So he hugged me. I just felt like I'd known him forever. I melted in his arms, and as I was hugging him, we were outside at this point, And I just started crying. He just grabbed me tight and he's like, "It's gonna be okay. I promise you. You just got to have faith that this is gonna work. Stop doubting. Stop doubting everything, and just stop trying so hard. Just surrender." And I said, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to just get through the days. He said, "I know, and so knows that as well." So I let him go, and I wanted to ask him something real quick, and I turned around, and he was nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. He was just there, and he was nowhere to be seen. And I got in the car, and I called my dad and told him what about the test, and tried to call my mom. And as I was backing out, there was I had my music on from Amazon, and the Black Crowes song, "She Talks to Angels," came on. And then it clicked. He wanted me to call him Michael. What y'all don't know is, she knows this, and so does one other person that I do paranormal investigations with. I've always said I've got this love-hate relationship with Archangel Michael, that when I ask him to come, he never comes. I just don't think he likes me, and I've told her that, and she's always said, you got to call on him and trust that he's gonna come. And I said, no, I just don't think he wants to deal with me. Just never does. I just, only saw him one time, and when somebody else that's a medium, he kind of introduced me like to him. I said, but he just don't come for me. I think he's pissed at me or something. He came today. Ain't a doubt in my mind. When I heard that song, it just so clearly hit me. And I said, that was Michael. That was Michael. So of course I had to pull back in the parking spot, and I'm sobbing even more. And I'm thanking God. I'm thanking Michael for coming. And I just felt this overwhelming love come over me, and I just stopped crying, and I've been all right till the way coming home, and was really just contemplating everything and what today is. When I was taking my shower to get dressed to go, it just came clear as day that what she's always felt or been afraid of with me, the reason that I was with her, is an issue that I've dealt with and since in past relationships, and she's known that. I've talked to her about it. She knows the details of it, and I never put two and two together that as twin flames that we're both dealing with that same issue as well. Maybe not is the same, but the same, but different. And I was thanking God for that. And as I pulled in the driveway up there, and I just still up in my head, I pulled in the driveway and I glanced up at the clock, and it was 1:11. And I grinned like I'm grinning now, and I said, thank you for that. Thank you, my spiritual family. Thank you, Divine, for that. Thank you so much for this day. It started off really bad, and it's come kind of full circle now, and I feel blessed, very grateful. So don't doubt the signs. Don't doubt that you're gonna not get messages. They're gonna come when you least expect them. Sometimes in your happiest of moments, and sometimes in your most vulnerable moments, and sometimes in your worst moments. Never doubt that stranger in the grocery store that happens to stop you, and when you're going through something, and they just stop you and they ask you what's wrong, or you get a feeling from them just like you've known them all your life. That could be your guardian angel. Could be somebody in your spiritual family that's with you. You just never know. They're with us all the time. So don't ever doubt the signs that you're not getting them and that you won't get them, because you will. When you least expect them and you stop anticipating them and looking for them, they're going to be there. They're going to be there.